Once a giant, always a giant. For me, it's only a giant.
So check it out. The D6 Squad has merch now. We got hoodies, tees, mugs, whatever you need. Check it out. Link in the description. What's going on YouTube? D546. Definitely hit that subscribe button if you're new. Like the video if you like the video. And I won't tell if you click that bell. But let's go ahead and get into this. So news came in a little bit earlier. I think that was from Adam Schefter. That was saying that Nate Solder decided to restructure his deal with the Giants. I'm not sure how much cap space that's going to save us, but I'm thinking that it's going to be more than if we were to cut him. We would have saved $6 million by cutting Nate Solder, but I think we're going to end up saving, $7-8 million because they said a restructure, pretty much a new deal. So maybe that extends his deal another year, which I don't know if that's the best. Maybe it moves around his guaranteed money or it changes it into a signing bonus. I really am not a cap expert. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a sports agent. So I don't know what they did, but I'm assuming that it's going to save us more than the $6 million, or else they wouldn't have put this much effort into it. They would have probably just cut him. Also, you saved that money that you would have spent on cutting him and re-signing someone by just keeping the same guy. I think Nate Solder, no matter what you think of him, I think he's good enough to be a swing tackle. So that right tackle spot, it seems like we're not going to be looking for a swing tackle. We're not going to be looking, for that tackle there. It just doesn't seem like we're going to be looking for it because they have a lot of faith in Matt Parrott, and you have Nate Solder as a backup or as a starter, if Matt Parrott doesn't work out. This video is pretty much about what we're going to do at right guard. There's a couple of free agents that I like. I'm going to name two, and then I'm going to just name another scenario that would end up being what we would do if we didn't go out and sign a veteran free agent. So let's get straight into this. The first one will be Gabe Jackson. Gabe Jackson is the guard who just got cut by the Raiders. I think he can be had for a reasonable amount, $5-6 million, I'm thinking. He is someone who didn't give up a sack last year. He's 29 years old, 6'3", 335. We can always use that extra size. That would definitely help at that point. I'm not sure how big Kevin Zeitler was, but I don't think he was 335. Gabe Jackson is going to help in the run game. He's going to be solid in the pass game. He gave up 0 sacks, as I said, with only 3 penalties. 1,062 snaps. PFF ranked him as a 63.7 rating. I don't put that much stock into PFF, but take from that what you may. That's a little bit above average. I guess average is 50. So if you're a 63, then you're above average, which, is pretty much what you want on the offensive line. There aren't really that many elite offensive linemen in the league. It just doesn't exist anymore the way it used to. So Gabe Jackson would be a solid starter for us with the chance of even being better than that. I think we can get him for a decent amount. And if we sign him for $5-6 million, we sign him for $6 million, we save $3 million because we cleared up $9 million by cutting Zeitler, so that makes his cut worth it. Now, I don't want to sign a guard we have to end up paying the entire $9 million to. But moving on to the next guard, Matt Feiler from the Steelers. He's a guard tackle hybrid, which makes him very, very attractive to a team like the Giants that could use that depth and might need a tackle and a pinch. And Matt Feiler can do that. He does both at a really, decent level, and he's a good pass blocker at both. He gave up 2 sacks. He played tackle and guard for the Steelers, I'm pretty sure. He's 6'6", 330. Again, another guy over 330 pounds. Tall dude. 65 PFF grade, which again is above average. That starts to get into their little green zone. Again, PFF they don't have all the answers, but that's something that you would definitely look towards for, someone to at least show you that he's not horrible. I think they're usually in the ballpark. They're usually somewhere, in the ballpark for how they do their ratings. Some of them I really don't agree with, but PFF is usually usually in the ballpark. So a 65 rating is pretty good. 848 snaps, so he didn't play every single snap, but Matt Feiler is someone who can be a starter for us. He can come in, play that right guard spot. If there's ever injuries at right tackle or even at left tackle, he could possibly be a swing tackle if Nate Solder ends up starting and, you don't think that much of Matt Parrott. So that positional flexibility is definitely something that I think Joe Judge values. I think that's something that the Giants value altogether. So Matt Filler is definitely someone that I will be targeting. He's my number one offensive lineman that I will be targeting in free agency. Above everything else, we're not going out and signing Trey Turner. We're not signing Joe Thuney. Joe Thuney is looking to make $15 million a year. That's what his projected cap number is going to be, around $15 million a year, and we are not in that range, not at all. So we're not signing him, and Trey Turner is probably going to be really expensive too. And he had a horrible year last year. Mind you, he was coming off some injuries. He was playing through some injuries. When you look at another option is just staying with Jonathan Harrison at center and moving Nick Gates to right guard, which is something I really wouldn't like. I really would not like moving Nick Gates away from center. I think he grew so much there. I think he sets the tone for the offensive line there. He just does everything the right way at center. He's the perfect guy that I would want at center. I don't want to move him, but if we want to save money, if we want to make some other moves away from that offensive line in free agency, moving Nick Gates to right guard is something that you really have to consider, because he's already shown that he's a decent right guard. He's also shown that, he could be an above average right guard. I think he could probably be a Pro Bowl center, but he could at least be an above average right guard. If you think that Jonathan Harrison, who on the Jets in 2019, he had a 51, so that's just basically average. He gave up no sacks, 3 penalties, so decent. If you think that he can be a decent player for you, then, start Jonathan Harrison and move Nick Gates over to right guard. I wouldn't like it, but I would understand the logic, and it would save a ton of money. It would really save a lot of money. And then, of course, the last option would be drafting someone like Wyatt Davis, drafting someone like Elijah Vera Tucker, which I don't think the value matches up at either one of our first 2 picks. So that would probably involve trading back. Maybe drafting a Ben Cleveland in the 3rd, 4th round. Maybe you look that direction, but it's kind of more far-fetched in the draft, because you're working with projections. You're working with a lot more projections than is someone who's been in the NFL for years, who's done it at a high level or at least an average, decent level, because we have to protect DJ this year. It's no more time to develop guys, to play around. We have to protect DJ. We have to block for Saquon. We cannot afford any more of this funny business. My number one option is going out, signing Matt Filler or signing Gabe Jackson, and just moving from there. You save some money by signing those guys. You get about $3 or $4 million back from cutting from cutting Kevin Zeitler. And Nate Solder seems like he's coming back, so that might give us some more cap relief. Stay tuned. I'm going to be covering what's going on with the Giants cap, what's going on in this free agency. Hopefully Nate Solder gives us some extra cap space. But you guys let me know what you think of these offensive line scenarios. Who are you targeting as your number one guy that's, going to come to the Giants? So if you made it this deep into the video, I'm calling you a D6 squad member. If you're a D6 squad member, you got to hit that subscribe button. You got to turn on that notification bell. And listen, I make all kinds of content for NFL teams. So if you're not a Giants fan, don't worry. I'll cover your team. If I'm not covering your team, let me know. And have a good one.